Question everything, for the truth shall not be televised. And that's for sure. So with that, you know, it burns me sometime, to see some of these house brothers and sisters, these Sambos, and how well they are used against their own people by the colonizers of the United States. You know, it's highly interesting to see how they can use our people to represent them in issues that our people as a nation, as Negroes, as Aboriginal Negroes of America, don't even care about. Don't even have no skin in the game, ain't even a part of those realities. But yet they send out these appointed representatives that work for them, that look like us, to represent us in places that we have no real ties to. Anywhere from the Ukraine war to the Palestinian plight to the situation with Russia, even with Russia right now, talking about they don't want no no weapons of mass destruction in space. Who do they send? They send us out there. Like they'll send the face of us to speak on, against it and be against Russia, speaking on them not wanting to have that type of reality in space, as if we as Negroes have real political power in America. As if we have some skin in the game when it comes to how America moves its resources or its economics when it comes to dealing with our people, or any political might when it comes to our political aspect of how we see ourselves and how we stand as a nation of people. They just use this 1% to 10% of us as token pawns in the game to keep us locked in areas that we have no real ties to, that don't move nothing in our community, nor do it help our people from nowhere. But yet you get all these people that look like us that's willing to take that bag, because that's what it is. It's that money. They dangle that carrot in front of all these losers, all these degenerate sellout Sambos, and they willing to take that money no matter which way it leads their own people, no matter where it drags their people to. And they have no problem with that, as long as they're in a position of being patted on the head by massive, they are all right. They don't care what happened to the rest of the body of the people, as long as they're doing all right. And that's the basis of it. You see all these appointed representatives, but then you look at our community and we're starving. We don't got nothing going on in our community. Abandoned buildings everywhere. We can't get no type of economic support from nowhere. Here it is, I say it all the time, we at the top of the list for the federal census for ethnic hate crimes, but yet still we can't get a bill passed for protection against hate crimes in this country by the same people that pushes us to go out and be a part of all these different areas of support for them when it comes to dealing with their issues of pretty much colonizing other people's lands, utilizing other people's resources, dictating to other nations what they're supposed to be about. They'll put our face up there as if we have something to do with that, like we're part of that plight, when we're not. We're far from that plight. We have no skin in the game on nothing the colonizers do or control here in America. We can't even get the police off our back, and it's been hundreds of years. Y'all even see how we're treated. Our constitutional rights, if we got any rights at all, when the cameras go off, notice the words, when the cameras go off, because as long as those cameras rolling, they'll act like we got all the rights in the world when it comes to dealing with the Constitution in the United States. But the moment them cameras go off, you already know we're subject to any type of reality of white supremacy and dominance over our people. That's just the reality to it. Same thing with the resources being sent to our community. We get bare minimums. We don't get no economic growth. We don't get no grants to be able to open up small businesses for our communities. We don't really get no bank loans because we redline. And it's a history of redlining. You can actually look it up. Look it up. You can actually look this stuff up to where a point where it's like, it's just a reality. And yet still, we keep playing this game with them as if we're part of their system, and we're not. We're just pawns in the game. We're token boys to be pushed around, to be manipulated at will. We got all these wealthy and rich people that have been given the bag by the colonizers for their talent, and their talent can't move a nickel in our community. move a dime in our community, can't do nothing for their people as a nation. They can't even run up and down the basketball court as millionaires, and then after the game is over with, come together and put $1 million apiece to come to communities and help our people in an economic boom or in an economic fashion. This is just the reality. These are the oaths they take against their own people. And then you turn around and you see these people send our people all over to speak as representatives of this country with them, as if we're a part of what's going on when it comes to the infrastructure of this country and the makeup of the United States, when we're not. We're not from nowhere. And then in turn, what happens is you got Iran, Iraq, Ukraine, all these different places, Russia, all of China, all these places that got as at odds with America. They start looking like we're part of that at odds that America is with them, as if we're part of it, like we got some skin in the game, when we don't. We don't. We running around here joining militaries, and our communities are ghetto slums and hoods. And then they teach us this bull crap in school and these programs through their TV institutions and airways, as if our plight is our fault, like we're moving the resources in our community to us from the government. Like we're the ones moving the fresh water or any clean water to our communities. Or if we are the ones moving the grocery stores and in the different hospital situations that we have here when it comes to our health here in this country. We ain't controlling none of that. None of it. And when you look it up, we are doing bad in every area whatsoever that they control when it comes to our reality. But yet still, we play these games as if we're part of the system. And then we put ourselves, our nation, our babies in harm's way when these folks go out there and act like they're representing us against Russia. We're not against Russia. We don't know nothing about Russia. Only plight we have is right here in America and what we're dealing with in America when it comes to white supremacy in America. That's what we're dealing with. We have no plight or no gripe against Iran or Iraq or China or any other us. The only plight we have is right here. When we try to walk to the corner store, we got to look over our back and hope that we don't get knocked off by the states, because the police is running rampant around our community that are colonizers that don't look like us, that's willing to lead us right off the planet and all have every excuse under the world to do so and get off. And they can do that with a body cam on or a body cam off. It don't make a difference. We running around here standing on eggshells trying to make ends meet from a system that makes sure we don't never ever get to be able to have any type of economic power or economic growth in our community, where we can't stand up and be men in our own homes because we can't get financially secured in a country that keep us economically crushed and destroyed on purpose. But yet still, you got all these people from Obama to you name it, standing around acting like they're representing us. Well, if they're representing us, then we don't need no representation at all, because they're not doing a good job. None of these folks are doing any good job. Anybody that you can think that look like us when it comes to our plight here in America that says they representing the Negroes or the blacks, then we need other representation. They need to just quit. Because at the end of the day, when you come through our communities, you see just what I see. You're not blind to it. You know what's going on. You see it. And this ain't our fault. We don't control nothing when it comes to the resources coming from the government and the federal government. Just like right now, you can look up asylum seekers coming into the country, grants. You can look up newcomer grants. You can look up stuff that is solely set up for them. Name one thing that's set up solely for a black person. Name one thing that's set up solely for Aboriginal Negro of America. Just name one thing. What sanctuary city you got? And you've been in the country ever since you was put in shackles and before, because you are the Aboriginal Negroes of the doggone land. You ain't never had a sanctuary city. You never had anywhere you can run from off those plantations to the next plantation to the next plantation and found a sanctuary. And you still here. You still here dealing with the same BS, the same blackface, the same hatred to this day. And then you got all these dudes running around here representing us into destruction. If they want to go to war, if they want to go to this ugly word war with other nations and other countries, that's no plight to Aboriginal Negroes of America. That's not a part of our reality. We at war right here, standing on the soil of America, being hated by everybody in America, getting lack of resources on every level, getting lack of economic growth on every level. Our political aspect of who we are is in destruction and in disarray when it comes to the type of crap that they push down our neck when it comes to being degenerates and low moral people. This is just that reality. This is what we're dealing with. There's no self-empowerment for the Aboriginal Negro of America in the United States. They crush that every time you try to make a move on that. That's just the reality to it. So when you see these brothers and sisters that are supposed to be appointed representatives talking on a national scale, on a foreign affairs scale, just know they ain't talking for all of us. They're talking for their legacy. And in that, they're pulling all of us in it as if we are part of what the United States is doing when we're not. We're far from it. We're victims of it. We're drowning in it. We're trying to survive it. That's all we're ever trying to do. And that's all we ever stand for, because we can't live, because at the end of the day, living is having. And we don't have nothing but ghetto slums and hoods. And with that, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. For that is the question. You let me know. Praise, praise.